6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no.
Because men are useless. I mean, this headline from The Hill, it caught my eye. Most young men are single. Most young women are not.
Young men have fallen faster than any demographic in America over the last 40 years.
It's a different world now. Like, we don't need men the way that they used to.
Nobody needs men!
The future is female.
Men and women are drifting further apart, and society is crumbling because of it.
A fascinating debate has broken out about the value of marriage.
You've kind of got the trad-con versus red pill thing.
This men's rights crowd that sometimes just goes too far the other way.
You need to stop acting like grown boys and infants and actually become men.
Marriage is a bond, and it's a sacred bond.
It's a machine designed to extract resources from you.
Now many of the red-pilled have taken the position that it's bad for men to get married.
Hannah Pearl Davis, or just Pearly things.
One of the most controversial faces in all of the internet.
She goes on to say that marriage is a terrible deal for men.
Because if me and you were in a business contract, you would never sign a contract where I am paid to leave.
Gee, what could go wrong there?
74% or something of divorces are initiated by women. Men have everything to lose, primarily their own children.
Men get killed by the courts and by divorce laws.
I had no idea that courts of family law were courts of equity, not courts of law.
Because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence.
When you guys say get married young, a lot of these men don't know what they're signing up for, and you're not going to be there when their entire life falls apart. I interview them on the other side.
I didn't meet my son until he was 15 months old.
How much did you spend trying to get him back? On legal fees alone was about $200,000.
Before you know it, you're homeless. You're literally just thrown out onto the street. We absolutely reinforce bad behavior from women.
Wives are taught to leave their husbands, and then daughters grow up without their fathers.
Family is the foundation of society.
Every problem in society comes from single mother homes.
A lot of women will just chase this negative rabbit hole of happiness, endless happiness.
Feminism's biggest failures is it lies to women. We tell women to date as many guys as possible. We tell them to put off family into marriage.
You are allowed to leave your perfect husband. You are allowed to end a relationship with a really great boyfriend.
Oh, freeze your ex, have an abortion.
What? You're evil.
I don't think there's anything else in life that we actually ever go into preparing to fail.
Right.
Like if you have the mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage.
And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in an age of male privilege. Where's my male privilege?
They think, well, men have all the rights. They have all the power.
Privileged patriarchal system that we have.
Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
I have no friends,
no wife, and no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon men.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose, or alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
Culture is telling men, you are no good.
You got to get your act together.
I think men have failed themselves.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are women.
Everybody knows this is a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they wanted a man.
500K,
500K,
200K,
300K,
200K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against you to fail as a man.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it. When is it going to be my turn?
Where are we meeting the men that don't stop?
I can't keep having these same conversations.
The only simp here is you, Pearl. You simp for men.
I think you simp for women.
She's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff, but Pearl is right about this.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband.
The future, if everybody follows your path, there is no future.
We go into population decline and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you guys want, you can donate to our divorce documentary. That was the trailer for it. We're trying to raise $100,000 to put this documentary together. So today we're talking about body count. And I really wanted to have a more nuanced conversation about body count because I just felt like this is what was missing in today's society. Because sorry, I have to turn the sound off so I can see the live chat. So today I really sometimes during these shows, people say I contradict myself, or people say that, they leave comments. And I feel as though sometimes I need to give you guys a more detailed explanation of my opinions. So today I saw a comment, or yesterday on yesterday's show, I saw a comment that said, and I did, I think it's Chuck Solutions 4579. I do feel a little bit bad at the comment I had to leave. But yesterday, I talked about how virgin women over 25 are generally either very weird, they're usually lying, or they have a huge ego. They're building their brand off of their virginity. It's like the only thing they bring to the table. So, and they're usually very immature. Like a lot of them just don't get into the game, and they think they're better because they're afraid to, get into the game. But mostly they're liars. Mostly they're not honest. So there was a guy who said, 17 years ago, I married a 25-year-old virgin. I was a 28-year-old virgin. I chose her because of her character, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even read the rest, right? But he goes on to say she kind of gave up after we've been married. She weighed 155. She gained a bunch of weight. Then she dropped weight, gained it back, whatever. So, when I see comments like this, the only thing that I could think is how I just think some men really want to be lied to. They don't want to be honest. And on this show, I really do pride myself on being as honest as I possibly can. I mean, there's some things I just simply cannot tell you about on the internet because my enemies will use them to attack me forever. It's simply I can't. So if so I do what but I got to be honest about what I've seen. I always want to protect people's privacy as well. However, a 25-year-old female virgin, does that seem realistic to you? Does that seem like that is a real thing? So I commented back and I said, I'm sure she was a virgin. Oh, I can't even zoom in on this on here. See if I can make it bigger. On this computer, it doesn't let me zoom in. I hate having to be the asshole, but this is my show and I just got to say it. I'm sure. I'm getting so annoyed. I should have just linked it. I should have linked it. I knew I should have linked it. I knew I should have just had the comment up, but I tried to screen. I knew. No, hold on. Hold on. I can't. Let me go to the last. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, here we go. So my first comment, I'll even share the screen on the last show. All right. I'm sure she was a virgin at 25 with a decade of a sex drive. Now, I don't mean to be an asshole. I really don't. I don't. But we just have to think that in a way, I'm trying to humanize women, right? Do you think if men, it was easy for them to get sex and they could even basically DoorDash sex and have a woman that was attracted to them, interested, and wanted to have sex with them, how many men do you think would be virgins by 22? None. None. I mean, all the guys that virtue signal about it, usually they make money off of their virginity in some way. They got a Christian brand. But if they didn't, I have a hard time believing they would. They wouldn't fold. You know what I mean? So, he says, Pearl, I got the impression that you were raised in a protected environment, similar to my wife. Da, 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 da. She was an ICU nurse. Dear God. She's a nurse. So here's my point. As young as I was, I remember the first person sexually active in my class was so young that it actually makes me uncomfortable to say it. It actually, and I went to a small Catholic school. This was not the majority of the women at that age, as far as I knew. You only know what people tell you. But this was a tiny Catholic school, and this girl started, I'll just say it was 7th, 8th grade. You can do the math on the age. It makes me kind of uncomfortable to say it. We start wanting to have sex with guys, and I would say women are more sexual earlier than men. Men are kind of like they're doing their own thing, they're into their hobbies. Women's only hobby is men. So from a young age, that's all women care about. And women are just thrown dick at them 24/7 from a very young age. Now, I am not saying a woman what I'm not saying is that there aren't 25-year-old virgins. They do exist. But it's just not usually the woman is going to have such great offers at the time from 18 to 25 that unless there's something seriously wrong with her where it's an ego, it's like a character issue, she's going to take one of the offers, right? Maybe she's fat, and the offers just aren't good enough for her. But you have to understand, when women want to have sex, women are doing it somehow. Maybe it's with the mouth, maybe it's getting finger blasted, maybe it's like, the woman opts out of the dating market for a year and then goes back in. But I'm telling you guys, you have to see this through my point of view. Women have every incentive. They have every incentive to lie to you. Why on earth would a woman be honest? Why would women be honest about this? Seriously. Like what would be the incentive for a woman to be like, yes, let me just, because if the women really, it was about getting married, they would get married. It would be the first on the agenda. They would say, I'm waiting till marriage, and you'd go on 100 Hinge dates till you found a guy to wait. All I'm saying is I have a hard time believing that let's say for shits and giggles, the average age to lose the virginity is like 16. Let's say she started wanting to have sex at 16. And women get very horny during that time of the month when we're ovulating. It's like we could bang anything. Like, you ever see a woman and she hooked up with someone and you're like, how the hell did that happen? She was ovulating. When you catch a woman during that time, it's like anybody will do. Anybody. I swear to God. And when you're young, it's even worse. It's terrible. And again, they used to deal with this by giving the husband, and like they would be like, here, take out all the sexual energy, and then the men would get to do, they'd get to, I'm sure the women cheated then too, but there was a lot higher risk. So, but you're telling me your wife 9 years of a normal functioning sex drive, she didn't get finger blasted once? And the STD, I said what I consider a virgin is a woman that has never done anything. And I got this from somebody, but a virgin, I don't think you could be a virgin if you got finger blasted like 10 times. I just don't think it has the same appeal, right? You know what I mean? I don't think you could really be a virgin if you did anal. It's just not the same. And I think women do feel like they're still virgins. I really do, because I don't think women bond the same way. until we have sex. Like, I don't think women, aren't as connected until the sex happens. So I do understand the point of view, but it's tough. It's not likely, but you can get chlamydia from getting finger blasted and HPV. Okay. That is a thing. So I am not going to count it as the same thing if if you're a hornball and you're going to Chad and he's finger blast and doing the soaking. I mean, there's all these stupid workarounds. I mean, come on, he's watching you orgasm. What is wrong? Why would you defend this? Why do you want to be cucked so bad? And I'm not saying this. What I'm not trying to do is say this in a way that attempts to I am not attempting to shame women, actually, when I say this, because women are in a tough predicament. I know you guys you probably have no sympathy, right? But I think at this show, I'm going to be a little bit more sympathetic to the women. I mean, young women don't really know who's going to commit and who's not going to commit. Young women aren't really raised to be wives. And so young women have to make the choice when they sleep with somebody if he's going to ruin their reputation by telling everybody. And men do, they always tell their friends. I mean, always. If you send nudes to a guy, congratulations, his friend group has seen you naked. Congratulations. Young women have to deal with the burden of performance, which is after sex he might ghost, and the young men, it's not like they're dying to be married and right, especially nowadays. And we're gonna be sympathetic for 2 seconds to the women, okay? We're gonna be I understand you guys have it way worse. It's totally true, but I do attempt to get into the women's shoes at times. And it was just it was just all of there's so many comments. So many comments that were just white knighting. Oh, they exist. All right. So, okay. Now, I want to talk to you guys about how I come to conclusions on this show, because I really do want I really want to talk about how I come to my worldview. I do think that facts, data, and statistics are important. However, the challenge you get is that facts, data, and statistics are usually funded by women, and women lie. Not all women. That's the challenge. Women make 80% of buying decisions, so it's very difficult to find industries that just aren't funded by women. Therefore, I question everything that I read. And in a way, I never stop working. I'm always talking to people. I'm always listening to people's stories. I'm always observing. I had someone that worked for me once. That's what he said, because he was around me a lot. He's like, "You really never stop working." And I'm like, "I really don't." And I'll just recount some of my experiences from college, high school, early, whatever. The latest girls I knew that still had their V card intact were 20 or 21. And these were small Christian schools, okay? These were religious institutions. And by V card intact, all of those women that had the V card intact got finger blasted. They did something, okay? There's one girl, she would just get naked in front of guys and stop, that was her thing. She's got a known for that. And I'm like, I don't know if this is the same draw. If you got naked for 10 dudes, but you didn't bang, it's at that point, you're kind of just a tease. You know what I mean? All right, so let's talk about hoes. because I think the way you guys maybe will be less naive and get bamboozled less is I really just want you to understand that women are very horny from like a very young age, almost uncomfortable to talk about. Okay. Super like hornier than the adult women, hornier than women in menopause. And I don't know if you guys have met women in menopause, but they're ready to bounce everything. But the challenge is young women, they have to signal purity. They have to hide it very, very well because they have to ensure that they get their resources. They got to get married, right? You can't be known as the town bicycle. And so I want to divide this into smart hoes and dumb hoes because really there's intelligent hoes and idiotic hoes. You know, Ashley St. Clair is an example, one of Elon Musk's baby mamas. She was a smart hoe. I mean, she signaled purity till the very end. I mean, the word on Twitter was she got ran through in college. That's what they're saying. Like really bad. I guess she slept with a bunch of frat dudes. Then she gets into conservative media. I guess she got ran through there. And then she realized that Elon Musk was a high value target. And then she found him, got pregnant. And now she's crashing out on X. Now, obviously, she looks pretty stupid in this. Like, it's not like intelligent. You know what I mean? But she did get the kid, right? She did get so because of that, I'm going to say smart hoe. I'm going to put her in the smart hoe category because I do think she got whatever the hell she wanted. She got the clout. She got the kid. She got money. So what I've observed, and I was actually really pissed off about this because when I was younger, I really felt like the women that were whores, I really thought that they would have some sort of consequence. You know, and I would try to like pride myself at, like if I don't do that, there'll be a reward or like there, And what I found is that whores don't really have any consequences. They really don't. Now, dumb whores kind of do, but not really. And I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. If I look up married porn stars, I better not. I'm not going to share my screen in case I don't know what's going to come up. But it's like all of the top porn stars are all married. These are women that had sex on camera. And a lot of them get married if they're hot enough. So even if there is a potential consequence, it's really not as bad as you think. We got to kill this revenge fantasy. Like women will have consequences for literally anything. So dumb hoes. I need to divide this. I need to maybe flesh out this thought a little more. There's smart hoes and dumb hoes. And there are smart hoes that do have a sexual footprint, but they still figure out how to win. Like they'll still have a sex. Riley Reid, she got into corn. She put in the work. And then she got married to, and we got to be honest, guys. Actually, we're gonna react to this. This guy is above average. He is an attractive guy. Many women would want to get married to. You might call him a simp. But I mean, you don't know if you're going to get cheated on in your marriage. You might be the same exact simp. You know what I mean? Here we go. So here we go.
I know. I remember you. You vlog from there.
This is an Aryan like Chad. Oh no, they'll never find love. Yes, they do. Look at this.
I watched the vlog.
Right. And so for those who don't know, you are married now? Yeah, you were married. It was married. A wedding. To Riley Reid. How did you guys meet?
Ashley Matthews.
Okay.
She asked me to call her Ashley Matthews.
Okay. So you
Ashley Petkins, actually, if anything.
Oh, right. There you
She's
go.
having my last name now.
So you never call her Riley?
No, never.
Okay. But how did you guys meet?
Instagram.
Right. You slid in her DMs?
I
She
like
did.
how there's guys in the chat saying, I love Riley Reid. I'd marry her. See?
She slid in mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Saying what?
It was pretty great. Actually, I posted about this.
Now, you might say this marriage will end in shambles. All of the marriages are going to end in shambles. I mean, statistically, it's like 10% of marriages that are you're having sex, your wife isn't fat, and they like each other. I mean, I think those three, would you guys agree, are like bare minimum? Thin wife, thin wife, having sex, like each other. It's like 10% after X amount of time. So, yeah, I mean, this guy, and that's the interesting thing, because I'll hear Myron. I really like Myron's a godsend, to be honest, to the space. He has sacrificed so much that I would never want to say that I'm like speaking ill, right? Of him. But there is a point I disagree with him where he says, oh, these women, they'll never be happy. They'll never find love. And I really want that to be true, because that would make us all sleep better at night. You know what I mean? Like, I would sleep better at night thinking the porn stars just had these horrible endings. And yeah, some do. That's true. But from what I've seen, if they're unhappy, it's because they were unhappy people all along. Yeah, like, even, hold on. Woman who slept with 1,000 men in a day. Corn star, old record holder. The corn star that had sex with 1,000 men in a day before Bonnie Blue, I can't find her name. She's been married like 30 years. This isn't what I want to be true. But yeah, Riley Reid will have takers. And I don't even necessarily think they're the biggest simps, because the way these guys adapt, I mean, a lot of corn stars offer the men threesomes. That's a good strategy. But the way these men adapt is they just figure women are whores anyway. I mean, they'll just cheat too. So I don't even think they're like the ultimate simps, in my opinion. Yeah.
Book, Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he's like, oh, it's a nice book. And it's funny because a month before that, Alina Lopez slid into my DMs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's happening? Why all these porn stars sliding
Right.
into my DMs? So I was like so confused. And so, yeah, and then we talk a little bit, and I asked,
Okay, so he's talking about,
because I was like, it all came at the end of the day what other people say.
Yeah.
I never gave a
If
Uh-huh.
fuck.
you don't care, then why the fuck
Yeah.
would you worry about what other people think?
Yeah,
you know?
and he said, like, if you care about what other people are gonna say, no matter what you're gonna do, they're gonna say that you're stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's very, very true.
Yeah.
yeah, and so you might say, oh, he's an idiot, right? He's an idiot marrying a corn star. Well, he's probably going to get some pretty good sex for however long she sticks around. She's pretty hot. She also gives him threesomes with all of her like hot friends. I mean, is that the worst deal you've ever heard? I don't think so. I just don't think so. You got to be the ultimate simp to marry a corn star. Well, who's a bigger simp? I mean, how many of you guys have been married and got cheated on? I understand there's something worse about it being out in the open, right? There's something worse about someone being able to Google it. But I would actually I'm moving the goalpost here, women, right? I would put Riley Reid as a smarter corn star. And the reason I would put her at that is she saw her chess, like her playing on the chessboard. And she said, look, I got gangbangs on camera. I want to get married. Let me find this Aryan Chad guy to have some kids with. And I'm going to offer him threesomes. and let's see what I can sell. And the guy's looking on the menu, right? And this is shout out to Aaron Clary for this analogy, but it's so great. So this guy's looking on the menu and he's like, let me get this straight. I have women that have corn star pasts that weren't on camera, women that claim they're pure, but I can't verify it. They want me to wait till marriage, but I can't even verify that they're pure. Okay. Or I can get this hot corn star who's going to give me a new woman every month. I mean, I can see why he made that choice. I can understand it. So I would put Riley Reid. Now, there are the smart hoes that go all in. They start the OnlyFans, they make a ton of money, they cash out, they do the Jesus grift after, and they find the husband. I would even put Nala under the category of smart hoe. She took her money when, the going got tough. She's going to be a Jesus influencer. She got the Chad, the guy who would put up with the past. Okay. So there's like strategy one, which is just go all in, make the money, take the money and run and just be like, look, I am a whore, but I'll be really good in bed. That's my sell. Maybe I'll put on a flower dress now, whatever I got to do. So that's one version of a smart hoe. But there's also the smart hoe that roams in private. Now, these hoes are the most dangerous of hoes because you will never see them coming. They have like no digital footprint. They don't even keep a lot of friends. They really just private people because they don't want the hoe facts to come out. They hoe out in a city, and when that crashes out, they move to a different city if their reputation's too bad. They settle down and get married. They either go back to their hometown after they hoed out in a city, or they hoe out in their hometown and go to a different city and get married. Or they could do the reverse where they whore. Yeah, either or. So I think there's some misconceptions about higher body counts. Now, I am not saying that it's a good thing to have a high body count. I'm really not. But I just have to go with what I've seen. And I have not really seen it be a detriment to women getting commitment from attractive, intelligent, successful men. I haven't seen it really slow down women at all. They just got to put on a flower dress, say they're a virgin, and you guys are fooled. I swear to God. I swear to God. I have too strong of morals to date a loose woman. You would never know because women's survival depends on hiding this from you. How women survived historically. I bet liar women, the reason women are liars is because women had to be liars in order to survive. Misconceptions about women with high body counts. Women with high body, there's some misconceptions that say women with high body counts don't get married. This is false. They do. They marry high value men. They marry non-simpy men. Every time a guy tells me his wife or girlfriend is different, she always just happens to be from another country or out of town where that cannot be verified. And every man will tell me I can just tell. And I'm like, if you guys could really just tell. And you have to understand, I would do these interviews on the shows, and the men on the shows would tell me they could just tell if a girl had a high body count. And I'm like, I know what your girlfriends were doing before they met you. And it was Chad, Tyrone, Gavin, Gloctavia. I'm like, no, you guys can't. There's no way of knowing, no way of verifying. I mean, really, if you want to get married, it's accepting that there's something. There is something. They say women with high body counts don't have children. That's false. Women with high body counts don't get respect from conservatives. I think Nala, the born again corn star, really proved that was false. Now, the rebuttals I tend to get are women will only end up with a simp. Not really true. I've seen bottle girls end up with very high value men. I've seen strippers end up, if you're hot enough, nice enough, and pleasant enough, some guy's going to do it. Men care much more. They won't say this. if you don't throw it in their face, men care a lot more about how cool you are and nice to be around, just pleasant. Now, you could argue that the women that have been around, they've picked up bad habits, and that's true, but not all of them do. Like, I'm thinking of one hoe friend I knew. She was just an irresponsible person. Oh my gosh, she was so irresponsible. She like wouldn't show up to work, to party. She had a drug problem. This girl, I mean, that's a hoe that picked up bad habits, but I knew another hoe that was very responsible. She had no debt, well-paid job. Just in general, I mean, yeah, she liked to have sex, but she was fun at parties and she'd wear a condom so she never caught anything. That's called a responsible hoe. Those hoes get wifed. They get wifed all the time. Even the irresponsible ones get wifed too if they get a man naive enough. Um, these women can't pair bond with a man. That's not true. Hoes, I mean, I know it's less, and I am sure after a certain amount, women can't as much as they used to. But like, you know what blackpilled me a little bit? The biggest hoe I knew in school, the biggest one. Oh my God, she was with everybody. She had longer relationships. She met someone her senior year, and she had a longer relationship than all of the prudes, than me. She was in like an 8-year relationship. Now, we don't know what goes on in that relationship. Maybe she's cheating, I don't know, but she got pretty obsessed with this guy. I got to be honest. She got pretty obsessed with him, and she just never left for 8 years. I mean, that's better than everyone. I mean, some got married, right? But my point is that's better than a lot of women. So I can't even say, they say these women will regret their actions later. I actually think women regret not being more of whores. I don't think they regret anything. I don't. The next thing is that these women are going to be so unhappy because of their life decisions. I disagree. If they're unhappy people, they will be unhappy, but a happy whore who's nice and pleasant to be around, I mean, that's just her personal sex life. Usually they just keep whoring and they're like happy people. No man can make them yeah, so my point is no man can make them happy, not a high value man, not a simp. Women that are unhappy, whether they're prudes or whores, I mean, it's just nobody can make them happy. They're just unhappy people. So many times we attribute our happiness and who we are as people to our relationship status, but it's like, okay, if your husband died tomorrow, obviously you're going to be unhappy, or your wife, but are you going to be a terrible, awful person now? Or are you going to be, the way the trads talk about it, it's like you'll be broke, bitter, unhappy, alone. It's just not true. There are studies that say that women that sleep with more people are more likely to divorce. That is true. I would agree with that. But again, the women that don't sleep around feel like they missed out. It's better just as a guy to have the mindset that nobody's sticking around. Nobody. They say they can't find a simp to accept their past and marry them, and they'll still be unhappy. Just not true. If they're hot enough, pleasant enough, they do it all the time. They could find the ultimate Chad with money. A lot of these women do find the ultimate Chad with game, money, or whatever the hell she wants at the time. One of the girls I went to school with, big whore, married a finance guy in the city. He was also a whore. Now she goes like yachting, boating every weekend with her baby. Women change all the time. Now, obviously, it's for now. Maybe she'll go back to the streets eventually, but the prudes go back to the streets too. It's just women's whoredom never shows any end. On top of that, men do reward bad behavior. Men continue to. Abortion is better than a single mother. Most men will rate that. They'd rather have a woman who's had an abortion than a single mom. That's generally what men pick. There's no downside. Why wouldn't women do it? Again, I'm trying to take morality out of this. This isn't what I want to be true or what I wish to be true. Simply, it's what I've observed. Most men would rather take a whore over waiting for sex. So they were like, do you know what? I will take a woman that's a complete whore over a virgin I can't even verify. being a whore is okay as long as they do not know the men. So if I ask men, would you rather have a girl that slept with 2 men you know or 10 men you don't? Pretty much unanimously, men say 10 men that I don't. And that incentivizes bad behavior because it takes more character to stick in your town and where you live and deal with the consequences of the poor decisions that you made. However, men do reward bad behavior and they would rather take a girl from a different city over a girl that slept with someone they knew. Sorry, fellas. Men do reward plastic surgery. Of course, you guys don't like the crazy stuff that is done poorly or goes too far, but let's not pretend that women get more offers from men when they get boob jobs, nose jobs, even a well done BBL. Women would not opt into these surgeries if they did not work to some extent. Yes, some women take it too far, but I've had too many men say that they like natural women, and I show them pictures of women that they think are natural and they're not. Um, you may say, well, Pearl, men don't choose these women as wives. I disagree. Somebody will. And the ones that will, oh, you may say women or Pearl, men don't choose these women as wives, but the challenge is women love being side chicks, so it's kind of a win-win. Even if the guy doesn't take them seriously, the most important thing to women is the desirability and the attention from men. So we like men thinking that we're hot over wifey. That's why we watch movies like Scandal and not like, I don't know, the Brady Bunch. We love being side chicks. We love cheat. We love all the the bad stuff. We're evil. So it's kind of a win-win. Now, what's more important, I would say, than body count is not sleeping with somebody the guy knows. No incurable STDs. I know a girl with the herp derp. She slept with one dude and she got it. It was just an L. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that was just that's what she told me, I guess I'll say. But I did know the boyfriend. And so, I knew who she got it from, and yeah, that was just an L. Like, I don't think he would have guessed. Even that, there's still reward for lying about that. A lot of women will still get married because they'll just lie and say they don't have it. So, I'm not saying they should. Again, I want to make it clear. None of this is me saying that this is good or this is how I wish it to be. But I just want to be honest with what I'm seeing. Abortion is rewarded, no digital footprint, but even that's not a deal breaker. I knew the digital footprint was kind of going away, like the consequences from that. When I did an interview at a UFC gym and I asked some of the guys there if they would accept a woman that had an OnlyFans and it was just nudes like 10 years ago. And way too many of them said yes. And I'm like, holy shit, if the rich, famous, attractive men are accepting this or open to it, we're cooked, everybody. We're cooked. What's more important is, can she leave behind the habits she picked up, spending habits? Can she live a normal life without attention and events? Does she have a lot of debt from going to all this stuff? Does she have a drug habit? Did she get fat? All of those, I would say, are more important than body count. Is she an insufferable bitch from getting pumped and dumped? And to be honest, guys, a lot of the women with high body counts, they pump and dump men. It's like the other way around. They just want the sex. Now, another pushback I get is that sexual attention versus relationship attention. They say, Pearl, these men, they just want the women for sex, not for relationships. Well, sex gets you in the door nowadays. That comes before relationships. So a lot of times these women, they have more power in the marketplace, right? Because they're sleeping with 5 guys at the same time. I mean, the odds are one of them wants to date you, where the women dating one guy, sleeping with one guy at a time. And you might say, Pearl, that it would never work. They'll find out. No, they don't. They don't. They do not. Women with low profiles can have like 3 boyfriends and they'll never find out. They won't. Women are great liars. That's one thing we're better at men than. We're not better at men than much, but we are better at men than lying. Also, another thing to consider is men approach women that look sexually available. So the slutty looking girl is going to get more offers. Again, this is rewarding bad behavior. None of the deal breakers men say are really true, because if a woman's hot enough or unpleasant enough, they usually put up with it. Now, that may be true that for the 10% of men that have a lot of choice, but most men don't have that much choice and do take what they can get. Every negative aspect has a counter. So like, for example, if a woman's a whore, but she can cook and clean and is nice and hot, a lot of guys will take it. They'll, they look at the menu, right? They look at the menu and they say, I want to order a nice, sweet, feminine virgin. And they're like, we're out. They're like, okay, could I get a sub 5 body count? And they're like, well, you can, but she got finger blasted 20 times. Will you take it? And then they're like, okay, well, could I get this? And it gets to the point that men just stop caring. When women that look pure are whores, I mean, there's no way to verify it. So I hate to say it, but now we're to the point that body count really just doesn't matter like it used to. It doesn't. When you have a first lady that has her boobs on the internet, like naked pictures on the internet, and she's the first lady of the United States, I'm sorry, but we cannot say that purity is super important. We just can't. Now I'm going to invite some of my friends to come on and give their takes. And maybe but my take is, in 2025, body count, it does matter if a woman has bad habits. But a high body count really, unless there's a digital footprint or it's on the internet, most women can just move and it'll be fine. And there's not really a consequence, pretty much at all. So I'm going to send this to a few people. It's not what I wish to be true, but it's what I believe is true. I'm going to read the super chats. It's corn. It's pronounced P-R-O-N. Come on, people. Look. Look, I can't say. I got to say corn on YouTube. This is one of Pearl's worst takes. Well, it's because I'm killing you guys' ego, because every guy thinks, I'm telling you, every guy thinks that he knows. He can tell. And I'm telling you, I have had too many men confidently tell me that they can tell. And I knew what their girlfriend was doing before they met them. Yeah, and this isn't for me. I don't want this to be true, guys. I mean, but I think men prefer the honest homebody. My ex slept with 300 people while we were in college, but I was in a different city. My wife has too. How do you know? Can you verify that? You can't. And I'm not saying this to be rude. I'm really not. I'm not, but none of you actually know. Like, you guys got to stop. Do you know what's funny? I met some influencers over the years. I think 6 is a common number women are going with. I think 6 is a common number, because I met like 4 or 5 influencer girlfriends, and both of the men share. I don't know why they told me, but they told me their girlfriend's body count, and it was 6. That's what they said. And they both happened to be from out of state. They both happened to be 8+ on the looks scale. And I'm like, are the girls saying 6 now? Is that the number everybody's going with? Hire a private detective. Look, most men aren't going to do all that. They're not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe the top men will. Yeah, like if you know your wife's body count because the woman told you it, I have some bad news for you fellas. How would you verify? How? Oh, but I would ask her friends. Friends cover up for women cheating. You don't think they'll lie about their body count? Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. Whatever she says times 3. I mean, when they ask me on all these shows, I just say I'm a virgin. I might as well. You guys are taking women's word, right? I might as well. I really might as well. I might as well say that. You guys are believing. And I want you to understand. Let's say women are dying of horny. And by the way, the women with low body counts, the way they keep it low is it's called reuse. It's called reduce, reuse, recycle. It's called the X. So it's not a bad deal for you guys because you could be the next X that she reduces, reuses, recycles. But I'm telling you what, most of the women with super low body counts, I mean, is it really better to have a different guy waiting on standby in case you mess up? No, I really am a virgin. What the hell? I am. I totally am. I'm waiting till marriage. This is why the passport bros exist. Oh yeah, like the Chinese women aren't throwing it back. It's like, oh my gosh, do you guys want to be lied to? Women, our programming is the same. There is no special woman under the guise of religion. Women with the same access to the same tools and environment tend to do the same things. Okay? My wife only had one before me. I mean, look, I'll believe you if you met her at 18. I will. I'll believe you if you met her at 18. I know. What's your body count? I'm a virgin. I mean, you guys are taking women's word. And I know what they'll say is, Pearl, you're projecting. Guys, I quoted these body count stats. I completely thought this was true. I really did. I really did. Look, oh my gosh. Let me make sure. Okay. I was one of, it's kind of embarrassing now. You realize these are all religious funded studies. I used to quote these on shows. I really did. But it's just not what I saw in reality. And you realize none of the body count stats matter because women lie. Body count does matter. Look, it matters to men, but in terms of women's outcomes, it doesn't matter because women can lie. That's the point. The point is not. The reason I know it's 2 is because she was married for 24 years before he died. And before that, I knew during her marriage she was loyal. How did you know? Were you there the whole time? Were you there? I mean, you just made this way worse for yourself, actually. You made it way worse. I hope you're right? But you have to understand that you, as the husband or boyfriend, the women have every incentive to lie. Women's survival depended on this. It matters biologically. I'm telling you, if it mattered biologically, I know a lot of hoes with kids right now. Even at 18, I mean, I knew women that started at 14. And I would say, I don't even like saying that. And I would say my school was more pure than most. Look, I knew a woman that did wait till she was married to have sex. She was done at 21, but she did get finger blasted. Look, she did. And I gotta give it to her. She had a lot of restraint. Okay. She really did. It was very difficult for her to do. I watched her and she did do it. But she, I mean, even she caved. And I'm like, if this girl caved, all these women are caving. I go after women honest about her body count and ready for me all the time. Chinese women ride the carousel for 15 years before they're ready to settle. No boyfriend equals randos. I think most men know the women they're dating aren't virgins, and the women know he knows they aren't. But in order to continue dating the girl, the guy pretends he doesn't know. It's a way of coping. I don't care about. Yeah, look it. Men have to adapt in this environment. Let me go to the StreamYard and see if anyone's on. Doug MPA, are you there? I don't know why I'm not seeing you. Let me make sure. Invite. Oh, Gia. So again, this is not what I wish to be true. It's not, but it's just what I've seen. I mean, girls can hoe and someone will do it. Someone will do it. They'll move to a different city. They might even move to a different country. I knew a girl that moved to France and got married. So, all right, we got Gia on the panel.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, did you watch the monologue?
I got like 10 minutes of it.
So, my premise, I'll tell you my premise, is that women's body count does matter in fact in the way that women aren't able to bond. But in terms of women's outcomes, as long as the men don't know each other,
Influencers over the years.
There's really no consequence. It happens all the time. Men aren't really going to know unless they marry or super young.
Yeah, I agree with you. I look at it like a new car thing. Like I always kind of come back to that. Would you prefer a new car or a used car? Mostly everyone's going to say they want a new car, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, not everybody has that option. So
And not everyone wants to pay new car prices. They're like, give me the discount.
Exactly.
I want the free trial.
Exactly.
they're giving 6-month free trials now. I'm gonna sign up. Diane, hold on. Doug MPA, you can't call me on my phone. What's the hold on. In the document. Okay, fine. Hold on. I'm gonna get my co-host. It's Diane, right? Right? Oh, she go.
Lost her.
So I want to know what you've seen, because you're in your 30s.
Oh, girl. I'm like past that.
Okay, so
everyone thinks I'm 30 though.
Okay, so I'm just curious, like what you've seen with the hoes you knew. Did they have consequences? Did they not? Because I got to be honest, the biggest hoes I knew in school, they're married with kids.
Yeah. I think, if she's attractive, more than likely she's gonna land on her feet, that's what happens. But I do think in general, like I think it does affect, like long term it affects. So like I have seen, people all my life that have done things and then they got married, but it did affect them. Like they didn't stay married, or they got divorced later, they had issues with control. So I do think ultimately that it does affect a woman. So that's why I kind of preach about it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I see two types of hoes, right? I see two types. There's smart hoes and dumb hoes. There's like the hoe that's like irresponsible. She's raving every weekend. You know what I mean? Those girls are cooked. I mean, they're kind of cooked that half the time they get herpes or something. Like
I think if it doesn't affect if she's like what you said, if she's smart and it doesn't affect her, she doesn't have anything like that's going to affect her health wise, and like you said, the guy doesn't know the other guy, because guys are always going to have to fight for everything that they have. So there's a saying, if you want to sleep at night, don't marry an attractive woman. right? That there's a reason for that, because usually what ends up happening. The good thing about me is that I was kind of, grew up a little bit in a sheltered, I guess, in a bubble, which protected me.
So I
a
can't
lot.
actually see or hear anybody else. I don't know.
You can't.
We can hear you though.
We can hear you.
You want to drop off and come back in maybe?
Hold on. I'll send her a message and say, wait, why can't I can't post. Wait, private chat. Here we go. We can hear you. Look at your settings. Let me see. Doug MPA, what happened to the hose you knew? The biggest hose?
So, I'm showing my age, but when I was young, because what do I always say is the worst thing about modern women? It's not that they're whores or single mothers, is that they can't keep their mouths shut. And I'm saying this not like actual talking, well, that too, but things that women of the past would take to their graves, modern women will put on social media, right? The reason why Brittany Renner, because Brittany Renner is the biggest waste of pretty ever, because she could have won, but the reason why men won't touch her is because she'll make your business her brand going forward. She's gonna write a book about you, put you all over social media. So a lot of these women, they could have kids, STDs, all this stuff, and they can still find a decent dude if they're hot enough if they just stop talking. Like, if you have it, you have women probably going on TikTok saying, "Oh yeah, I have herpes and I'm proud." What? Like, a lot of guys, you'd be surprised what men will accept if it's kept secret and it doesn't make them look stupid. So, whores out there, keep your mouth shut. Don't go on social media and say everything. Stop talking, for Christ's sake.
Well, and the problem is even the prudes are leaving. They feel like they missed out. So the men are like, I might as well get the gluck gluck. What's the difference? They're like, Kazak says, how many steps did you get in? Do you know what? I'm low today. I was going to get more after the show. I'm at 5,000. Thanks for asking. All right, let's see if Diane comes in. Diane, can you hear us now? Diane? Guessing she can't hear us.
Check your settings.
It's like women in technology.
We can see you and hear you, Diane.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to figure it out.
But yeah, ultimately, it's just about how women not navigate this whole body count thing. I mean, because we have to accept the fact that if a woman goes to a major university, because there are stats that show that the average 25-year-old college-educated woman has had infinitely more sexual partners than the average college-educated man. So, guys, if your girl went to a public university, ASU, USC, even like University of Utah, she's in the 20s and 30s at least. Come on, guys. You have to accept these facts. You have to. And so, and I honestly believe in
big city add another 20 or 30, you know what I mean? Because
women
can whore more the bigger the environment. So it's like
yeah,
I mean, come on, like I'm tired of being gaslit on this. They're like, it matters. I'm like, I mean, yeah, but not really. Like, in terms of what the resources and commitment women can get from men, if there's no digital footprint, it doesn't affect women as much as you think.
Yeah. Or this whole argument where, women with a high body count are going to regret all the men that they've given their bodies to. Bullshit. No. Nope. Don't think so at all. There is no regret from women with a high body count, not in 2025. I think that regret has been gone, for 10, 15 years, bro.
I
At
think
least.
women regret not hoeing more. I've heard more of that. Like, I'll hear women talk about like, oh, this guy slid in my DMs and it's like some famous whatever. But I had a boyfriend at the time. It's like her husband.
Do you think that, because I brought this up a couple streams ago, where men were supposed to sow their royal oats and get it out of their system early to get ready to be married and for commitment and stuff. Do you think that women have to sow their royal oats and then it'll make them less of a whore when they're older, or do you think whoring is like a permanent thing?
Oh, is that for Gina?
Yeah,
Or
which
Gia? Sorry.
Well, either one.
Gia, go ahead. You can answer
I mean,
first.
I kind of agree with Pearl. I think that I've seen women do both, right? I've seen the virgin get married and then regret not doing it and then leave their husband and go do it, right? And then I've seen the women who do it and then get religious and then stop, right? I've seen both.
Yeah, it's like a phase.
I don't think that they need to sow. I mean, I don't think that they need to. So I just think that women have this tendency to think that there's something better out there, and they listen to the whole, oh yeah, there's this, there's that, and sex is something that naturally comes along with it. Like, oh yeah, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I don't think that it's something that they're in their heads are going, oh, I need to sow my royal oats.
The other thing too, women think online attention is real. And so
Mhm.
it's like, you could have a celebrity DM you, but he probably wouldn't look twice at you at the bar. He's probably just copying and pasting the same message.
Yeah, they think that what's being told to them is real. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, we got someone. DTJ, welcome to the show.
Hey, I want to know, what is a high body count to you? What do you consider a high body count?
So when I've interviewed men, what I would say is a high body count nowadays, but 20-ish, 15, 10. But if you interview men, it's over 10. That's like their disgust factor goes off at like 10. That's usually men think it's low in 2025, under 10, over 10. 10 to 20, they tend to think, I don't like it, but I'll deal with it. Over 20, 25, they tend to be like, nay, ski nada, she's too far gone. I did a lot of interviews on body count during my show, so go ahead.
That just kind of like, I don't know, that kind of like blows my mind. Like, one thing that I learned about women is you don't ask them their age when you first meet them, and you don't ask them their body count. And when it comes down to that, if they're going to tell you a number of like 15 or 20, they're definitely lying. And if they're going to tell you like a number like 6, like you said earlier, they're definitely lying. And it matters what age they are too. The older they get, mid-30s, they're definitely lying.
Yeah.
You don't ask their age or their body count, but you ask their freaking credit score and how much student loan debt they have. That's what I do. Oh man, those are more important numbers in 2025 than body count. How much student loan debt do you have?
Over 5 is just a smash and dash. That's what they're saying. Well, you guys marry women with over 5 all the time. I can promise to God. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Did you meet her in high school or the first 2 years of college? No? Or does she have a long-term boyfriend? Maybe. But even that, because in college, women cheat all the time. I mean, okay, we're going to get Diane. Is it working now?
Yes, sorry about that. I didn't realize it didn't work well with Chrome.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you my thoughts, and then you can tell me if you agree or disagree.
Sounds good.
So I think that even though body count does reduce women's ability to bond, that body count in general doesn't matter in terms of the outcomes women get, as long as the men don't know each other. Because I've seen too many hoes move to different cities, start over. I mean, I knew a girl that screwed like probably 10 dudes that I knew personally, and she just moved to a different state. She's married with kids now. Have you seen something similar or something different? And do you think men can tell as well as they think they can?
I don't think men. No, I don't think men can tell at all. And I largely agree with you, but I'm not even sure about the pair bonding thing. I'd have to like read the research, but I think that to the degree that that's true, it could be caused by some third factor, like a person who has, I don't know, like poor mental health could have problems with pair bonding and also have a really high body count. So I'm not really sure that it's caused by, you know, sleeping around a lot.
I mean, I'd just say that women that pick sleeping around a lot don't really like being in relationships.
That's fair.
Yeah, you
That
know,
makes
so
sense.
it's like, you know, they're not really, if that's what they tend, like, it's one thing if it's like a year or 2
Mhm.
years, but it's like, we got 10, some girls go on for like 10 years and then stick the landing and try monogamy. They can't do that at that point.
Mm.
Like, good luck.
Well, I mean, don't the internet men constantly get mad about all of the people who do OnlyFans for years or they're whores for years and then they find a guy who wants to marry them? I see that all of the time. That like that like the I don't know, the incels or chuds or whatever on X are losing their crap like
Well,
every time.
yeah.
Every
It's
time somebody
yeah.
who was on OnlyFans or like was once a sex worker, you know, posts their engagement photos or posts their cute little wedding photo with their little baby or whatever it is, they're
It's
always
true.
seething. They're like, it's just
Yeah.
so
Well,
angry
it's
that like a
because
girl could have gotten married after
it's
all that.
because it's not really fun to see someone make the wrong decision and still get a happy ending. Because we're told there's like consequences, and for men there are consequences for
Yeah, but
doing the
women
wrong
there
thing.
aren't.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
women
about
it's not.
chuds and stuff like that. It's just not. Here's the thing about it. Like the journey of a man is difficult. Okay? And women think they want the smoke of being a man. They don't want it. And they don't like success is mandatory for a man and it's optional for women. And that's what these OnlyFans models show. You can take off your clothes and get millions of dollars and still marry some simp and have a decent life. So all these women, and that devalues all the comments from all these women. Oh yeah, I'm a strong and independent, and I can do. Or you could just do OnlyFans. It's kind of devaluing women who want to be out here and fight in the world of men and gain success and climb the corporate ladder and stuff when these broads are just whoring themselves and making money and getting married to some simp.
Wait,
That's
why?
what it is.
Why do you
Huh?
think it devalues the work and effort of women who want to work in, I don't know, the
Because
corporate world?
men don't have that option. Okay, men. The journey of a man. You turn 16 and you're gonna work until you're dead. Hopefully, along the way, you get a highly valued skill, highly valued trade, or highly valued education to put yourself in the best position to be able to provide for yourself and a family. And that's it. Women have so many other options, but they want to talk like they have the journey of a man, and they don't. So that's what it is.
Yeah,
If
it's
women could just, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, it's like the ego. These women make all this money and they get the ego like they made money like men, and it's like you didn't accomplish anything. You just got gangbanged on camera.
Yep, exactly. I'm an entrepreneur. No, you're OnlyFans whore. That's what it is.
Yeah, so
So there is no chud part about it. You know, like men don't have that option, but these women are talking down to average men like they're nothing. You just hoard
Well,
on OnlyFans. Sorry.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
if
you
you let
kind
them
of have the
top
option.
down you, though.
If you would like to rent your asshole to gay men, I'm sure there would be takers.
Oh, yeah, really? I bet there would
You
be.
do have that option. I'm not saying it's a nice one. I'm not saying you'd like to take
yeah, but
it. I'm just
come
saying
on,
that
it's
it's
not
not.
it's
It's
not
not
true
the
that it's
same,
not an
though.
option for you.
I'm
You
gonna
know?
not
read
the
a
same.
I'm
Come
gonna
on.
read a super chat really quick. Mine has over 200 plus and still tight. She went like 3 a day for 2 months after her first college boyfriend. Stopped only because her first husband locked her down. Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, I will die on the hill that the corn stars will get married too. So, yeah, I mean, that's what's enraging is like because men used to get like young hot virgins, or at least that's what they sold back then, And now they're getting like women with OnlyFans. So they're kind of pissed because this is what they're forced to accept. They don't really want to, but they have to. No, I mean, not that you have to accept OnlyFans, but like, you don't know if your wife did something on OnlyFans 5 years ago. I mean, men marry women. There's a guy in New York. He was like a really hot Asian doctor, and he married a girl and found out she was a full-blown escort. Like, you know. I will say though, the digital footprint does bite some women in the ass. That does happen. But there's always somebody who will do it, always, if they're hot enough. Agree, disagree?
I agree. And I also think that women get it in the back end. I think that women get it in the front. Men get it in the front, women get it in the back end. So while men get frustrated, they're like, why do they always stick the landing? They stick the landing when they're attractive and they're young. And then later on, it always does come. Now, the only problem is that usually they have their kids and then they just live through their kids, or they let their kids be the golden goose. So they'll use the kid as a pawn, and that's how they make their living later on, you know? So that's another issue, a whole nother discussion.
And also, when one of these OnlyFans broads marries a guy, a lot of us have simped. Like most guys have, right? It's not if you've simped, it's for how long, right? And so any guy that would marry an OnlyFans whore doesn't think very much of himself. And then what about her kids? If I was in high school and I had a friend that was in high school whose mom was on OnlyFans, he'd have to move because I would rip him apart. Young boys are so mean to each other. This woman's children their friends are gonna be able to see her on OnlyFans. These women, they don't think about what their career on OnlyFans is gonna do to their husband or their children because it's selfish.
Wait, I'm just gonna ask you quickly, like, do you know the name of a single porn star that was active 10 years ago, but no longer active today? Do you know her name or know her face at all?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
how many can you
Yes.
name?
A decent amount.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
And do you think that's common that like a lot of people know porn stars from like 10 years ago who are no longer active?
Yes.
Because I feel like the thing is, as OnlyFans becomes more and more popular with women, more and more women do it. Like they come into it, they do it for a couple of years, they retire. It's gonna be that there's just such a glut that nobody's even gonna remember a single person who's active like 10 years ago.
You are
for a few months or
100% wrong.
whatever. Unless they were
100% wrong.
already famous for some other reason, like they're Lil Tay or something like that, right?
No,
okay, Lil Tay went on, you know.
I agree with you partially, where we don't know how society is going to react to it in the future. It's going to be a lot more normalized.
Yeah.
But men are still going to get shit in the locker room if their mom's nudes are on the internet. That's just going to happen. Like, come on, guys are guys. Glenn, welcome to the show.
Yes, there will be remembered. There's going to be a whole like file in somebody's hard drive of everybody's mom that they were jerking off to growing up. Okay, it will be remembered.
There are guys who can tell you their favorite sports team's entire roster from like 1986 season, 1987 season.
Yeah, you don't think that they're going to be like the best of OnlyFans 2020?
I mean, no.
Men always remember a girl that can give them a really good gluck or that they enjoyed watching. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. That's entrenched in
them. Like, I'd be surprised that they know the girl's name like while they're watching her, honestly.
Gia's on the panel. Pearl, please have her on more often. I
know. Look at her.
Thanks. Gia, they want to know if you're single.
No, very married, like decades married.
Oh no, she is taken, and her man, he a killer. So you guys better watch out. Don't push him. Don't push him. Hey, he's a homie though.
He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a very, very good guy. But he comes off tough in the beginning, so you got to get to know him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Good
All right,
dude.
Glenn, so my premise, and you could say if you agree or disagree, and then feel free, guys, if he says anything that you agree or disagree with, you guys can riff off of each other. So my premise is that women's body count doesn't matter in 2025. Now, it's not because there are not consequences for sleeping around. Obviously, you can get STDs. If you get chlamydia too many times, you can become infertile, herpes, bonding, whatever. However, in 2025, all women have to do is move to a different city, have no digital footprint, and the guys aren't really going to know. I don't think men can tell as well as they thought or think they can, and women are expert liars. So, in a way, body count doesn't matter because most of the hoes I knew in school are married with kids.
Yeah, I've been saying body count doesn't matter for a while now. You just need to watch how she treats you. How does she treat you? That's the only thing you could go off of, really. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to assume that every girl has been dicked down at least a few times in her life, right? And if you just go with that premise, then how does she treat you? That's really what it matters. At the end of the day, that's the one thing that you could actually, value and measure. Like, women do not come with a dickometer. I'm sorry, guys. It does not show right above their vagina how many dicks have been in there thrust per minute. It just doesn't happen like that. So, you could only go off of how does she treat you. Does she treat you like you're just one of the next guys? One of the dudes? Then just another number?
Okay,
Well,
you guys are saying body count does matter. It would if there was a way to verify it, but there's not. That's the problem. There are some behaviors, but there are some hoes that you just would not know. I call them the smart hoes. The dumb hoes get caught. Smart hoes, they're on a mission. Like Ashley St. Clair, we could say what we want about her, right? We really could. But in a way, she was kind of a smart hoe. I mean, I think it was deplorable. Her name is going to be tarnished forever. But I mean, look, she got what she wanted, which was a kid off of Elon Musk.
she got the cash out ticket. She won the lottery. She's good. She's done.
She's gonna the richest man in the world is gonna end up in New York paternity court. That's how powerful this woman is. Insane.
And somebody will sign up to be the stepdaddy too. I guarantee you.
Somebody's gonna do it. It's not, and that's what I mean, guys. Everyone's like, so the pushback I always get is they'll never get the men they want. But I'm like, most women don't get the men they want anyway, and most women aren't happy anyway. Like, they're just unhappy people. So if she's unhappy, a woman had Tom Brady and wasn't happy. We'll get like the Chad, the perfect guy, and still find a flaw. So I'm like, it doesn't really matter because she was going to be unhappy anyway. So, I mean, that's.
And like you said, men are never, well, Glenn said it too, men are never going to know, which is why your digital footprint is so important. A guy will marry a whore if she's kept her mouth closed and it doesn't make him look stupid. We will always have our pride, especially if you've accomplished something. Men who've accomplished something cannot look stupid. And remember, Kevin Samuels would always delineate between guys in entertainment and sports and like men in corporate America. It's a whole different thing. There may be some athlete who will marry an OnlyFans model, but you think a guy who's a vice president of mergers and acquisitions at freaking a major corporation is going to end up with the OnlyFans woman? Ain't happening. Nope.
But women don't even want them. That's the problem. They want the entertainers and the athletes. They want like the streamers.
I mean, mating is largely assortative, right? So the people who are doing OnlyFans are probably not, top of the IQ spectrum. So they wouldn't likely be a great match for the CEO of whatever company you're talking about anyways.
Glenn, where did the hoes you knew in high school end up? Are they married? I will say the one thing is, though, if you get into corn, a lot of those women do end up committing suicide at some point. But I think mentally unstable women are like going to choose corn anyway. That's just their life path. That's where they're going.
Like half of America right now. You know that?
Yeah, that's true. But go ahead, Glenn. What do you think? Tell me.
I mean, the biggest hoes that I knew were in church. It's something about like on the knees praying, like it's something about it. Just what is their thing? But a lot of them would be in church on a youth group on Wednesday, in church on Sunday, but Friday, Saturday, man, they were a different person.
We got AJ on here.
What's going on, everybody?
AJ's got a fun channel. It's called AJ's Rants and Reactions. So guys, check that out. I'm sure Doug MPA will put it in the description. So what's your?
I'm doing that right now.
I'm sure you heard the monologue. So what were there parts you agreed with, disagreed? What's your take?
Well, I think that the 304s, they used to be able to just, go to college and just, just run through the whole wrestling team or the football team. They would graduate with a degree in English because, there was no gender studies back then. So it was English and journalism, right? And then they would just move to the next town and then hang out by the local medical school and bat their eyelashes. And then some Poindexter would marry them. I saw that in college all the time because this is back when Facebook was like first blowing up. So when I was an undergrad. So there was girls that I literally saw like in a frat house. Come on, ride the train. And ride it, you know what I'm saying, with the whole basketball team, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, two years after graduation, they're marrying some Poindexter. Oh, I met this hot chick, But the thing is, they kept their mouth shut and they didn't put it all out on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I know girls that were junkies, girls that were like, going to raves and getting plowed on the dance floor, you know what I'm saying? But they would just move from like, Seattle to Portland or Portland to LA or LA to now they're putting it out there for everyone to see. That's the reason why like high priced escorts can actually marry, they'll retire and get married to some CEO or some upcoming executive because the high price escorts, they're private. They don't snitch. You know what I'm saying? Whereas these OF girls and these Instagram thoughts and these Backpage chicks still do and wonder why they can't have the same outcomes. You know what I mean? It's just if it's public or not, And guys, just because you have money doesn't make you not a simp, You look at Bezos. I mean, come on, But that's just the thing is they were shooting themselves in the foot because there were chicks who were hot enough to have their cake and eat it too. But then they decided to let the whole world know, or I think the equivalent to putting your stuff out there on Snapchat and Instagram is like these hot chicks that have kids young. It's like, what are you doing? Have a rich dude's kid. You know what I'm saying? Don't have nugs, kid. You know what I'm saying? Don't have Bobo's kid.
Marry some 50-year-old guy, have his, worth $100 million, have his kid, divorce him, take half his money, then bang Chad and Tyrone.
Yeah, and then Pearl, you had done a reaction to Tom Likas. He actually had a show way back in the day. Would you smash a hot enough chick who had the herp derp? He had it. This is back when like Jessica Alba was big, and he asked his listeners, would you smash Jessica Alba if she had the herp derp? And all these guys were calling in, oh, hell yeah, I do it. Hell yeah, I do it. So the thing is, as long as you don't let these knuckleheads know, as long as you don't have any kids, hot chicks can still hit the buzzer beater, but you just don't make it public. You don't have bastard kids and you're good, but they can't even do that nowadays.
But the men are even adapting to the OnlyFans stuff because when I was interviewing, these were UFC fighters. So these are guys with choice. These are guys women want to be with. I mean, you might say they're like different because they're entertainers, but in terms of who women selected 18 to 25, it's them. So
yeah, but a lot of those MMA guys have a lot of issues. That's why they actually fight. That a lot of them like have, I don't want to say insecurities, but there's a certain type of person.
Melania has her tits on the internet. Okay. Like, come on. So even like men are adapting to the OnlyFans stuff. I don't say this in a happy way, but like men are adapting to the digital footprint. I mean, when the first lady had like nude pictures of her on the internet.
I think guys classify, there's a sliding scale here, right? There's like, oh, has your titties been out? Not a big deal. Oh, there was a dick in your mouth? That's a big deal.
Do I see the booty hole? Do I see the booty hole?
There's like titties, dick in every hole, titties.
Hey, look at Logan Paul.
That's
Look at
actually
Logan Paul.
Glenn, that's actually what I found was that men accept if it's as long as there's no other guy and it's just nudes, they tend to accept it. That's what I found was like when I was asking the fighters, I was like, okay, it was 10 years ago. It's just nudes. There's no other guy. They're like, eh.
Yeah,
but it's the truth, though. I mean, it's the truth. Like guys, like
And
I mean, guys are
I'm
not
telling you,
prudish.
some of the UFC fighters are smart. Like they're not all like. I'm telling you, these are guys with choice. It's not. It's
But
not
the thing
what you're
about the
thinking.
MMA guys is they're in a very, very isolated community because they don't work regular jobs and they train in their small little community, right? But if you're talking about like a CEO or a person where their reputation really, really matters and they're like titans of it. Of the industry, so like an MMA guy is going to be making money differently than say
Trump. They both like. I mean, I'm saying the fact that these huge CEOs, this is happening, men are adapting. I don't like it, but I'm saying they are.
Yeah, but I think that Bezos is kind of a bad example because look, guys, Russell Wilson was my guy until he married Sierra, man. Like, but that was a political marriage because Russell Wilson wasn't seen as being black until he married Sierra.
Yeah, he wanted street cred. He wanted street cred.
Yeah,
and now he's wearing his hat all sideways. Like, come on,
80% of Amazon's customers are women, so he chose a woman like Lauren Sanchez because that's good for his brand.
Yeah.
If you would have chose a 20-year-old woman,
right,
it would have been held against him.
Lauren Sanchez.
But the thing is, you're wrong. But the thing is, most companies have female customer bases, so they're going to adapt. I don't say this in a happy way, but it's going to happen in our lifetime.
I think Lauren Sanchez has that Sarah Jessica Parker horse face look where chicks say she's pretty, but they know that their husbands won't sleep with her. You know what I'm saying? If you'd have got like a 24-year-old hot chick, if you'd have done like a Leonardo DiCaprio, it'd have been more of a scandal. But he chose that kind of horse face kind of look that like women put on magazines and try and gaslight us into thinking she's pretty, you know?
Wait, hold on. I just have a question for you guys. Like, when you guys shop for stuff, do you look at the CEO and see who he's married to and like, oh,
no, because we're men.
This choice before you decide whether you want to shop at
no, because we're men. Men don't care.
Like, we don't do that either, though.
Women do.
Just letting you know.
Women care if a company supports that conflict over in the sand or not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's
look at TikTok and
different
stuff.
from like the private romantic choices of the CEO, though.
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. Hey, look at freaking Elon. All these chicks are all mad that all these chicks want to get turkey basted by Elon, right? You know what I'm saying? So every time he pops out a kid, all these chicks are like, how dare he do such a thing? This cad. This scallywag, you know what I'm saying?
There's another one. Elon Musk had a kid with a girl with nudes. She used to have a Snapchat like account where she sold nudes.
Damn.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
it's not even called Snapchat. It could be
I'm not, but you have to understand what percent of women
Ah.
in Gen Z have OnlyFans. It's like 10-20%, and like what percent of them are attractive? I would argue they're probably good looking. Men are going to adapt because it's on the menu. I don't say this in a happy way. I don't see the revenge fantasy coming until society literally falls apart.
I mean, there won't be because there's always
That's
some guy who's desperate enough for anything. Guys don't have any kind of standards at all. Men
Thank you.
benches. No, they don't.
I agree with you. I said thank you.
They fuck corpses, they fuck animals,
I've been
they
telling
fuck park benches, they fuck trees. Men do not have any kind of standards, and you're never going to convince me that they do.
You know what? I
was agreeing with you. I said thank you for saying that because one, I don't believe men do have standards. It's like, does she have a pulse and does she touch my pee-pee? That's about it.
You know what? She doesn't even have to have a pulse.
I actually think women will fuck anything more than men.
I was about to say that.
I really,
You know what? That's
I really think it's projection. I think when women are ovulating, like they will smash anything.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's like they will holler for $1 and they'll do something strange for a piece of change. Okay.
The thing about it is just look at the quality of men that single mothers have kids with, and the quality of women that guys get. There are more single mothers that have slept with the same men, low quality men, than the other way around.
Yeah, that's my whole thing about the whole red pill. That's part of it that I don't. You gotta have money, bro, to get chicks, bro. You gotta have
No,
money,
you don't.
dude.
No,
All the
you
single
don't.
moms get pregnant by Nug and Gavin, the starving poet, and then want the rich guy. If that was the case, then all the single moms would be pregnant by lawyers and doctors and CEOs. But it's always some friggin' dude off the street, and then they hit 30, and all of a sudden, oh well, if I'm gonna marry a guy, he has to X, Y, and Z. So he has they have a loser's baby, and then want to marry a rich guy. So it actually goes in the face of you have to have a lot of money and have a lot of status to get chicks.
No, you just gotta whisper sweet nothings into her ear. Like I mean, come on. A guy could be fat, ugly, broke, in jail, but if he can whisper sweet nothings, women will do it. Like,
Yeah.
I think women have less standards than men. Like men, maybe for sex, right? So maybe for sex, they'll do anything to get the job done. But like at least to have a kid, they'll be like, all right, she's got to be hot. she's got a big boobs.
Pearl, I saw this thing where women say that would you rather come across a random bear or a random man in the woods? Women pick the bear, but then why do so many women write letters to men in prison?
Because they want the bear.
Yeah.
Why do so many women write letters to these criminals on death row, like asking to marry them?
Because those are the bears in our society.
Yeah. Felons have 42% more children than men that have never been incarcerated.
Yep.
So a woman can perish in childbirth. She's risking her life every time she has a baby for a loser, for a guy who's in prison. That's crazy.
Do you know what's even more crazy is that women are more likely to die from a BBL than childbirth.
And those BBLs stink. They stink.
Yeah, but women say I can't have a kid because like I might die during childbirth or whatever. But it's like you're not saying that for the BBL, bitch.
What's crazy is that the UK chicks are going to Turkey for cheap BBLs. The DR, you can habla some Espanol, but can anyone speak Turkish? Come on, man. What are you doing?
Some of these fat women, I mean, I think it changed their lives, to be honest. I'll see the before and afters. They're never going to lose the weight. So, yeah, you might as well get the BBL.
I wanted to ask Diane about something that she said earlier about, because I said something about a guy that's VP of merger of acquisitions, and you said that OnlyFans models don't have an IQ, so they wouldn't mix with a guy like that. You think that a guy that's VP of mergers and acquisition really cares about a woman's IQ if she's hot?
Yeah, I do.
Are you serious?
I mean, this is actually a finding. This is actually a finding that's like well replicated in social science research. That hook up with her, sure, but like in terms of pairings, like marriage and long-term relationships, people mating is pretty much assortative on qualities like IQ, so it's not going to be very frequent. Of course, I'm not saying it never happens, but like statistically it's rare for people who have a huge IQ gap to be in like a successful long-term relationship. And if you've ever done this, you'll know why it feels like bestiality.
Look,
Wait. What?
What?
What do you mean? It just doesn't feel right. Like if you're with somebody who's significantly stupider than you, it just feels like you're taking advantage. Like that's not a human that you're dating.
So you know now how most men feel.
Like dogs.
I mean, seriously, have you heard most modern women talk? Like especially now. See, I'm a little bit older, so I remember back in college before, and I went from a really good state school to like a very, very expensive kind of like liberal arts school before it was like a woke indoctrination center. So like we actually had like conversations. You would talk to girls that actually thought, but now colleges are woke indoctrination centers. So you can listen to young girls talking. It's just all talking points that their liberal, woke, they, them professor told. And they're talking and they're so used to guys going, I want to have sex with you. And because they know that if you disagree with them on any type of topic about they, thems, or Palestine, they're going to get up and walk away, right? So they think that they're right about everything. And they don't know anything. That's how most men feel. You don't know anything about politics, about geopolitics, about changing satire, about Rome, about anything that matters.
And you know what? You're starting to see women. So you're starting to see masculine women like studs and stuff saying the exact same thing that men are saying. I'm sitting across the table on dates from these women, and they're dumb as a box of rocks.
Yep, it's true.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but usually when people complain that the women around them are all stupid, it's because they're stupid too.
Wait.
Oh.
First of all,
Well, that was kind of rude. Okay, so Sean, welcome to the show.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the topic?
Oh, dang. I was kind of caught up in what y'all was saying for a minute.
Oh, it's okay. What did you have to add?
Because you made a good point, Pearl, when you said, I think when it comes to women, they're sexually attracted to have diverse levels of things. Like other women. Mm-hmm. They can just do that. They can just turn it on and off. Where men, they don't tend to do that for the most part, right? Men kind of just say like, hey, I like women, and that's it. They're not like, oh, I was at a party and I kind of kissed my male friend on the lips just for fun. Like guys don't do that, right? And so they just like, they're like either with it or not. And women are kind of like, oh, well, I just grabbed her boot. I just grabbed her and I just did this. So that's one thing. And then, yes, men do tend to do anything with a pulse. So Big Homie was right. Like as long as it has a pulse and it's a woman, they're flying with it, right? It might even be in between. Guys are like, I don't know, she got a fat one. So it's kind of weird, but net, they'll do anything. And so
you
I
got
think
that
those
5
two
o'clock
were valid
shadow and
points.
you couldn't tell or not.
Yeah, exactly.
They got the Adam's apple. Nope.
He might let it fly. But also going back into what you were saying about Jeff Bezos and stuff, I just think he did whatever he wanted to do. Because at the end of the day, I mean, he's mostly holds shares. He's not an active CEO. So even though if women got mad, they couldn't take his shares away. So that's where his wealth comes from. I think he just got smitten by that girl and he just is a simp. So he just did it. And that's what it is. You could just put it as that.
She must have that thunder throat.
Mm.
Oh, she got that thunder throat on him, dude. Straight up, man. That magic badge. Because I don't get it, but hey, man, dudes get smitten, so it works.
But okay, going back to the main subject, like you said, Pearl, body count, and they're going to make sure it doesn't matter because that's their job. Again, they're trying to sell the product. They're trying to sell a service. And it's my job to get the customer to think that that is not a negative about it. I am like, oh, body count doesn't matter. Weight doesn't matter because it benefits my position in the market sexual place. So I'm not mad at a hustler trying to hustle, but I'll be a fool to allow him to hustle me based on those terms. So I think a lot of times people just have a lot of attractive deals just with bad terms. And so that's one of those bad terms. She might look good. That's an attractive deal, but it's an unattractive terms that you're setting because she has a high body count and etc. So you have to be wise.
Welcome to the show, Fang.
Hello, ma'am. First of all, a very good morning from this part of the world. I am from India. I am an Indian citizen. Yes, I actually work with Mr. Anil Murthy from Save Indian Family Foundation, the Pan-India men's largest NGO, which actually provides physical and mental well-being alongside shelters for men in general. This concept of high body count being normalized or things like that, it is percolated and permeated all across the world, including in my country as well. So it is not just a Western concept anymore. Female nature is universal.
What about the men that
Regardless of
they want to come to India to get a trad wife? Can they not do that?
well, I could answer that because the law of the land is as such that it incentivizes a woman's bad behavior, be it regarding adultery, be it regarding matrimonial laws that are always the draconian laws that have been introduced with a concept that a man is always guilty unless proven otherwise. So that actually incentivizes the bad behavior, which leads to the problem of adultery and women usually indulging in adultery, because even in India, the adultery has been decriminalized, and earlier as well, that was a law against men, no repercussions against a woman.
Yep.
So women could get away with adventurism every now and then.
Yep.
Yeah.
If something
And if the
happens
marriage fails, it's
in
the
a
guy's
relationship,
fault. Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Always.
If something happens in a marriage, it's the man's fault. It's the man's fault. If something happens in the marriage, it's the woman's fault. It's the man's fault.
Yep. Yep. That's
And
how it is
and
all across the
if
world.
you've ever been married and divorced, and Glenn knows, if your marriage, if you say, "Oh yeah," as a man, "Oh, I'm divorced," they say, "Oh, your wife left you?" No, I left her. But did you try everything? What? What?
Yep.
So it's always the man's fault. Always. Go ahead.
Everything.
I
You
think
gotta
my man
try-
came up with a new
you gotta,
word.
You got to try every single
Yeah.
thing. Like, how far are we going?
Adventurism. Adventurism.
Yeah,
I like
my
that
man
word.
came up with a new word.
Let's go.
My man came up with a new word, adventurism. You gave them a new word. Like, I don't want to leave you. I just want to be on the frontier of adventurism.
You and your wife ain't working out
No matter
well.
what they do,
Adventurism.
they'll be like, no matter what they'll do, like, so she cheated on you. Why don't you just like see what the guy's about? Like, why don't you just invite him in? You know, you didn't try that. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, why don't you just be Polly? Try it
She was
out,
going
see if you
through
like
an
it.
adventurism phase.
Morons are Polly, please. Especially with all the STDs going around. Guys, there's a certain look. Have you noticed the like short-haired, bull ring nose chicks that are poly chicks? Right? And it's always one simp and then like an artist Chad, where like they're just keeping the simp on the back burner and just using poly so that they can be Chad's 2 a.m. special. The bars are out, so he gives her a call. And then
it's like it's like the simp is funding the artist Chad's, like,
Okay, so I want to go back a little bit to the topic, and I want everyone to tell me the biggest whore at your high school. Where is she now? So I'm actually going to use college because I wasn't really invited to parties in high school, so I don't really know what they were doing. But the biggest whore that I knew in school has been in like 8-year relationship and is engaged. It actually probably has had the either second or third longest relationship in our friend group. And that blackpilled me a little bit, where I realized it didn't really matter as much as I thought. So I'm not saying that's the case for everybody. Maybe your high school and college whores are somewhere else. I'm only 28, so maybe at 48 she'll be somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. Gia, do you want to go first?
So you guys can hear me. I'm like the worst person to like talk on this subject because I was homeschooled.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
you're in bodybuilding, aren't you? So like the
Yeah,
girls go
so
back there.
That's what I was gonna say. So the ones that I've noticed have been when I got into modeling. So when I got into modeling, I like start meeting all these girls because we had to do like these teams of girls, and I would say like the biggest ones literally have been in fitness. Even they've been worse than what you would think, which is like OnlyFans girls. So the OnlyFans girls were more prudes than the fitness girls, which is weird, right? Yeah. So
we're gonna run into them in Vegas.
yeah.
Okay, so where the biggest, the most egregious one, where is she today?
She's dating a comedian right now.
Oh wow.
A well-known comedian. Yep. But every 2 weeks she'd be with somebody new. It was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Doug MPA, what about you? The
Biggest
girls.
whore,
Okay, go ahead.
biggest whore in high school is still in my hometown, but she's been married 3 times and has 3 kids by each one of her husbands. And it's funny because the last guy she divorced, she says that he's the best dad ever, and he's involved in all 3 of the kids' lives, although she divorced him, and says he's the best. He's the only one out of the 3 that co-parents with her. And she puts all these posts about how great of a man he is for staying in his and the 2 other children's lives, but apparently he isn't good enough to be with. The biggest whore in college moved from the state where my college was to Texas, and she never brings her husband back because she grew up in the town where my college was, and I don't think he's ever been back to her hometown. Like I always see that her
How long has she
family.
been married?
She graduated college in 24. She got married when she was 30.
No, like
And she's
how
still
long?
married.
Oh, like is she 40, 50? I don't know how
Yeah.
old she is.
So she's been married for 12 years.
Okay.
Yep.
AJ, would you say the same girl or do you have someone else?
No, my neighbor, she was just like Aquafina, like Vietnamese chick that was like all trying to be like a rapper. So she would bang like all the basketball team at my college. It was crazy, right? And
I remember
then she ended up like moving to New York and marrying this like white dude that's like a TV executive and like having 3 kids and being a housewife.
Oh wow.
She was one of the biggest feminists ever too.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
her.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, but she would just like bang like the basketball team, the football players, like anyone just big and black. She would just smash. And then her husband looks nothing like these dudes. You know what I'm saying? She has a little Susie Homemaker haircut, has her 3 little kids, and hasn't worked since. And he just takes pictures, and I guess he's in love with her. He must not know.
Okay, so out of the 3, so right now we've talked about 4 hoes. So we're 1 for 4 out of the hoes that we brought up. So like in terms of L's, I'd say 3 different dad for the kids. That's a pretty big L. So I'd categorize. Glenn, what about you?
The biggest hoe back when her name is Melody Cruz. I know her name and I know exactly where she lives. I will put her stuff out there. She's still at home.
Oh, wait.
At home.
I need to, for legal purposes, this is all alleged and there's no evidence or proof of any of these allegations.
Anyways,
I really prefer we not say names. We not say names. Just prefer. Okay, go ahead.
Different melodies out there. Anyways, like no, she has like 2 baby daddies. She's been through the entire town, and now she's single. She found Jesus, and she's finding herself.
Oh
Lord!
But she's like 42 years old now.
Okay, so all right. So out of the hoe L's, we're 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Diane, what about your high school or college? Whoever comes to your mind first. There's always someone everyone thinks of when you bring up wars.
Yeah, I went to nerd school, so like most of us ended up graduating never having been kissed in high school. But in college, the biggest hoe that I knew or socialized with, she's now, she's married. She has 2 kids, I think, and has been married for years. Seems fine. Like, husband is some kind of like tech entrepreneur. Bought and sold several businesses now, and they live in a really nice house somewhere in like Washington State.
So we had 2 L's, 2 for 6 for the hoes, for L's. Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't call her a 3 or 4. I think she's just a free market pioneer. And now she's calm down. You gotta understand, man. You know, she was just opening up the free market back then, and it was so construct and controlled. It was a commie market. But net at the end of the day,
she was like 100% discount. It was a free
yeah,
sample,
100%
right?
mine.
She was giving out free
100%
samples.
mine.
She was giving out free samples at Costco.
Free samples, and then also she took my V card. So shout outs to her. But net. Now she's, drum roll please, a single mom. Now, of course, that wasn't her fault. That was just the guy. I mean, he was a terrible guy and he
narcissist
qualities, narcissist. You know the rundown. But net at the end of the day, she's doing her thing as a strong, independent single mom, and we wish her the best because she was the first free market pioneer. Give the boy a taste.
That's another L for the hose. We're at 3 L's. 3 for 7, 8. Okay. All right. What about you, Fing?
Well, I heard when I was going through my puberty, I heard a joke, a very adult joke in India, that police actually, arrested a woman, and she said, "I'm not a prostitute. It is just that I'm actually selling condoms and giving free demonstration." So the slut culture or the whore culture, people who are exception to the rule have always existed. It is not a very new concept or someone is a whore or something. 1 to 2%, it actually existed throughout history of mankind. It is just that now that we have conflagrated that culture through incentivization, through societal, silence on these matters. But the whore I knew in my middle school, actually.
Damn.
Not even high school, middle school, when people go through, we call it class and standard. You people call it grades in America, I presume. So when I was going through the 8th grade, and I'm 36 now, so I'm an 80s kid. I know that going through the 90s, girls were losing their virginity at the age of 13 and 14. And one of the girls, she actually, yes, she slept around a lot, but she also became a dentist. So
Okay.
at least she became a doctor in that
Okay,
regard.
so-
So she married another doctor. That's it.
Oh, the hoes
And
are
she
winning
ended
on this
up in the
panel.
West. Yeah.
It seems like for 8, we got 3 L's and 5 wins. So
yeah, but
the hoes are winning.
There is always a sucker. There is always a sucker who is ready to mollycoddle them.
Yeah.
And
The
that is
question
because
is,
of
how many guys are winning though? How many guys are winning? And that should be what we should be looking at.
yes.
And
Well, that's
if
not-
guys are,
that's
if
not
guys are,
That's not the show today, Glenn. We could do that a different day. Like,
no, but no, what you're pointing out is guys are choosing to lose. Guys are choosing to lose by not having said standard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. Yep. That's why everyone blames 304s. I blame simps. This is the same as saying that if there was no people doing drugs, there would barely be any drug dealers. If there was no simps, there wouldn't be as many 304s. There will always be 304s, but there would be a lot less if there wasn't as many simps. You know what I mean?
Well, I would also say that most men are one blowjob away from slavery in the plantation. And I took that from CGA. But net at the end of the day, that is the truth. So if a guy's standing tall saying, "I ain't no simp," it just takes the right girl to put him back on that plantation.
So for anyone who's lived in the DMV in the summertime, It's sundress season, and there's bumper stickers that say, "Men, don't let a sundress lead you to 18 years of child support." You know what I'm saying? Because all the girls got their cute little sundresses on. Don't get caught in that sundress trap. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right. Well,
Well,
I think. Go ahead, Doug and Pierre.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
didn't say anything.
just
I thought it was
I,
AJ. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say something. You are doing a phenomenal work as far as men's rights spaces are concerned with your, very recently uploaded video with Mr. Paul Elam. He is also acquainted with me. I have interviewed him as well. You are doing a phenomenal work, and I wish you the best in life. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks so much for
Cool.
calling in. Someone made a funny joke as a super chat. She's good at oral. She became a dentist. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. I think I'm going to close out the panel. If you guys have any final thoughts, I'll give you guys each a chance to talk. If you have anything you want to add on the topic. So the original topic is that hoes body count doesn't really matter if the men don't find out. They could still get married, have kids, do whatever. It doesn't matter.
I guess I can say. Oh, sorry. That there's.
Okay, just wait. I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
So just give me a second. So Gia, you could go first.
Yeah, I wish I had more to add to this. I agree with you, Pearl. I think that, if she's attractive, she's going to land on her feet regardless, and they're not going to really tell the truth, So you just have to go by making sure that one, whatever she did is not affecting her with STDs, health wise, all those things. And then how she treats you, like how overall she's going to treat you. But I do agree. I do think that men have standards. I disagree with that. I think men have standards. I think men put women in categories, right? So like if it's just sex, yeah, but the guys who are used to getting higher caliber, like certain, category of women, they're not going to just sleep with anything. So that's what I got to say about that. But thank you, Pearl. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for calling in. Okay. I'll let you go next, Diane.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you that it really doesn't matter unless the guy knows the other guys, and that's an embarrassment for him and he's constantly getting ribbed for that or whatever. But in general, I just think that like if you're discreet, you can get away with basically anything because guys, they're not very good at being able to tell about anything. So don't leave any evidence all over the internet. And I think if you're smart, you're going to be able to get what you want regardless of what sins you've had in your past. You can always pretend it never happened.
Yeah, I've seen women get away with murder. Thanks for calling in. We'd love to have you back, okay?
Absolutely. I'd love to. Thank
Cool.
you.
Bye. Glenn, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Listen, fellas, you're never gonna know her body count. All right. You're just not. How does she treat you is what you need to worry about. Right? Did she move a certain way? Did she get all sexy to go to the grocery store? Because guess what? If she does that, she ain't doing it for you. Okay. Like there's cues, there's things like behavior, things that women do that you could actually be paying attention to that will give you more insight than what she says out of her mouth. So watch how she moves. Don't take what she says for any credit, and watch how she treats you.
I agree.
That's really what you could do. That's it.
There's no hoe facts. I mean,
there is no hoe facts, and there's no dickometer above the vagina. I'm just sorry. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's just every guy that says they know their girl's body count. I'm like, do you really? Do you?
Because girls don't even count like one night stands as a body.
You don't
like
count.
I know girls that only
count like you don't count finger blasting. You don't count blowjob. I went to Catholic school. I know the workarounds.
I know women that they don't count sex with a condom. I met a girl that doesn't count sex with a condom.
Count if it does it. If it's like really quick and then you stop, then that doesn't count. Like,
right.
There's a lot of workarounds, and this show, because everyone in the comments was telling me they know their wife's body count. I'm like, all we have to do is lie. I'm a virgin. So that's what I've decided. I'm born again. So
Look, if she
Yeah.
could do the Glock 10,000
it's-
with no gag reflex, that took practice. That took practice, and it wasn't you.
That's it. I mean, all the grace they're giving in the comments, they're so sure they believe everything the woman says. So I'm like, we might as well just gaslight further, ladies. Keep going with it. Why stop now?
The thing is, I'm not even mad at the guys that like fall for that. I'm not even mad at the girls for doing that to the guys. Because if he's that dumb to fall for that, then he almost like he deserves to get taken advantage of.
It's kind of like when Ashley St. Clair believed that she said she believed that Elon wanted to have a family with her and more kids and loved her. It's like, she didn't
You're
even
right.
take an L, but like, she had that in a recent podcast. She's like, yeah, I believed it. I'm like, why would you believe that? Okay, Sean, you got any other thoughts on the topic?
I'm out, you guys. Have a good one.
Fun.
Peace. Really, Pearl? Finger blasting? That's hilarious. But just the way you said it, I've heard somebody say that in the longest.
The girl I knew that
blasted.
waited until marriage, that was her thing. She'd get finger blasted. So it's like,
That's hilarious.
I mean, I guess she was still technically, but it's just not the same ring. You know what I mean? It's just not the same.
Yeah, nah.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Jeff.
so net, you were right, of course. Another grand slam. And just don't put your ego in a hole, and then you'll be all right. I think it's more important on how the person treats you and all the other things that you're going to deal with on a daily basis. And remember, guys, chastity belts did not work. So at the end of the day, locksmith were getting paid in blowjobs back then. And so net, I think just let it fly. Focus on the things that matter. Pearl, another slam dunk. Shout outs to Doug MPA. And have some audacity and sign up for the Audacity Network. Peace.
Thanks for calling in. All right, AJ.
I think the best part about nowadays is that these 304s, they have a certain look, so you can just kind of tell. They have the bull ring in the nose. They have the really big, I think that I'm so important glasses. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The bangs that make people think that they're important, or they dye their hair crazy colors, or you'll try and talk to them. They try and sound edgy, So like they just tell on themselves, That's pretty much, if you know what to look for, right? It's kind of like how like all the most poisonous things in nature are all brightly colored. 304s are the same way, except it's jewelry and tattoos and all this other stuff, the goofy glasses, So now, guys, just avoid that. At least your chances might be better. But back in the day, you used to not know who the 304s were because they weren't as out and out just trying to goofy as they are now. Because I went to college with like Mormons and all these girls that were like backdoor, no baby, and all this other stuff, and you really couldn't tell who was who. But now it's a lot easier to tell, even though you won't truly know. So
Great.
Yeah.
So thanks for calling in. Calling anytime, all right?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Bye, guys.
And then I'm gonna read the super chat. I use all three whenever I want. Never let her hold back if you pay the bills. That's the most important thing, how she treats you. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I'm actually gonna give the whores one. I don't think being a whore makes you a bad person. I really don't. I don't.
Yeah.
But, I've met whores that were helpful, that worked hard, that were nice and pleasant to everybody. Like some of the nice, like some of them are really nice. I mean, some aren't. Some are complete bitches. It just depends. It's really, in my experience, there's like the whores that are they're responsible women that like to have sex. They just enjoy fucking. That's their thing. But they're responsible. They're nice. They're fun. And then there's the ones that are just like train wrecks. Oh my God. It's like they get abortion after abortion. They have a bunch of debt. They're like going to raves in debt. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, don't you have to go to work? They don't care. They'll just blow their boss or something,
Someone put in the chat, Pearl's finger blast usage is over 9,000.
All right. No. Virgin. You guys believe it? I mean, we'll just lie further. You know what I mean?
Pearly.
Yeah.
I would say that
Virginity.
you could argue that if a woman's in a major city and she wants to find like a good guy, she's gonna have to exceed what most guys would consider a high body count because look, guys worth a dang are not gonna wait for sex. They're just not. So like for a quest for a woman to find a good guy, she she has to get into whore territory. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the one girl I knew that married young, she's fucked 10 dudes in a year, the 10th with her husband. But she was
Yeah,
done
there you
by
go.
she was done by 21. She's like, I'm done. I've graduated. I'm out of the
Yep.
game. But she was on a mission. She was like, sex, do you want to date me? No, next. Like it just kept going.
There you go.
I mean,
And that's kind of a I'm sorry, go ahead.
I thought she was a whore, you know. And I remember thinking like that's a terrible strat. She's married. Like
Yeah.
I remember thinking that'll never work. That's it did work. Sorry. It did in fact work. It did. It did in fact work. Like, go ahead. Go ahead.
Think about this, guys. I keep saying it. We have to redefine this whole a woman's a whore if she sleeps with you on the first night thing. Guys, you want to be the woman she sleeps with on the first night. You want to be that guy. So stop looking at women who sleep with you on the first night as automatic whores, number one. And on the other side of that is women have to know nowadays, like I said before, that a man's not going to take her seriously unless she sleeps with him. And the sooner the better. But plenty of guys have married a woman that they've slept with on the first night. So we gotta stop all this cat, Pearly. We gotta stop it.
Well, and they're saying most times it won't work, Pearl. Look. I've seen it work a lot of times.
Me too.
I've seen I mean, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wish I could, you know, but I'm just being honest here. You guys, women know far more what women do than men. So it's kind of like when there's a guy whispering sweet nothings into our ear, and we're like, no, he's so nice. And you guys are like, he's whispering sweet nothings into your ear. And we're like, no, 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 he's not. He's so nice. And you're like, you're kidding. He's whispering sweet. It's kind of the way I feel when you guys are like, "Oh, I can tell." I'm like, "Really? You can tell? You can tell?" Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've just had too many guys tell me they could tell, but I knew what their wife was doing before they met him. I mean,
What you're talking about, Pearly, is remember, women share all sorts of stuff. It's just the sisterhood is not it is completely denying that women are whores and women are evil when women see their friends perpetuate the evil, craziest, horror stuff, but they'll still cape for these women. That is the sisterhood. So don't ever think that women don't know what kind of craziness other women are doing. They do. They just the sisterhood hasn't denying it in public.
yeah. I mean, they're saying they take L's in private. No, they totally do. But that's the thing, we hear about the L's. Like I hear about them more than you guys would hear about them anyways. So my final thoughts are that it's not what I wanted to be true. It's really not. But in general, I would say that men would rather have a girl with a higher body count where he doesn't know any of the bodies than a girl that's been in the same town and he knows like 3 of the dudes she's dated.
Yep.
And I would actually say it takes more character to stay in the town and deal with the consequences rather than move.
Yep.
And therefore, I think men, women are moving all the time. It leads me to believe they're leaving something there. And long story short, what I've seen, if there's no digital footprint, it doesn't affect the women too much. I can't say maybe all these women will be divorced in 10 years that I know personally that did that. All I'm saying is some of the biggest whores I knew had some of the longest relationships and longer than the prudes. So we'll see what happens in the future. I can't say. Not all, by the way. Not all. Not all. It goes both ways, right? It's not that nuanced where I could say the whores are better. It really also depends how hot they are. That's a big factor. But we'll go into my archetypes of whores a different day because it's the biggest thing for me if they land on their feet is how irresponsible are they as people. Take their sex life out of it. If they're irresponsible people, I mean, then they're cooked. But if they're somewhat responsible, then they usually are fine. Doug MPA, you got anything else?
You're cooking at the end of the show, bro. I agree with you 100%. 100%.
Yeah, sorry to the last caller. We're tax man. We're closing out the show, but call in next show. We'd love to have you on. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate the viewership as always. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about next time, like the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Wait, there's one more super chat.
One more super chat. That's why women's last name is changed once they get married, but the modern woman has changed that into patriarchy, trying to control them. Yeah, so their dirt doesn't come to haunt them. That's hilarious.